Well, if you know anything about steampunk music at all, then you know my next guest. He is the founder and frontman of the iconic steampunk band Abney Park. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome to Streaming the Steam, Captain Robert Brown.
Oh, thank you, John. It is good to be here, and I am so glad that you are doing this show. Somebody need to do something like this, and I'm super excited about it.
Thank you. I mean, part of it's just due to boredom, but also I think I've always had the desire to have a TV show, and then that spawned into this, like, oh, let's have a chance to talk to like other steampunk musicians and get them to get a chance to promote what they're working on.
Well, you're the perfect guy for the job, so I'm glad you're doing it.
Oh, thank you. And I guess, like I said, most people who know steampunk music are familiar with Abney Park, but for those who don't, you want to go ahead and briefly describe what Abney Park is?
So Abney Park is kind of the original steampunk band. 100,000 years ago, we were a goth band, and we were only a goth band by default because our sound kind of had that in it. And we decided that what we wanted to do was we wanted to try to create a new genre that allowed us to be who we were. And at the time, I was writing a lot of songs that had sort of Victorian science fiction themes in them. So we started to look up literary genres, like goth is a literary genre and industrial is like a design genre. And we thought maybe we should make a new genre that fit what we do so that it would give us the opportunity to, not be told we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do is we found out this very obscure science fiction genre called steampunk, and we decided what we needed to do was make a band that was a steampunk band. Then we could just be ourselves, and then everything would go great. And actually, so far, things have been going great.
Yeah, it seems like it. And like I've said, you guys have been very influential, I think, on the steampunk music community, including The Cog is Dead. At the time we became a steampunk band, I was, forming a band, and I found a steampunk guitar and thought, this is really cool. And that introduced me to steampunk. And then I started looking up steampunk instruments and found Abney Park. And I was like, oh, shoot, let's just be a steampunk band. This looks awesome.
So, that's amazing. That is awesome.
So, yeah, no, thank you for, that partly is, I guess, why I'm able to do what I do and a lot of others in the steampunk community.
Well, I'm glad I enabled a true talent, so that's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. So are you staying safe right now and, stocking up on toilet paper and things?
Yeah, we are so incredibly safe in this household. The governor of Washington's been really good about this, and he suggested lockdown before almost anybody else did. And our family actually sort of self-quarantined. I mean, to be fair, we kind of live a quarantined lifestyle anyway.
Yep,
it's like we're touring or we're quarantined. We don't have any other division. But so we've been really safe. I go into the grocery stores with mask on, with goggles on. I mean, who doesn't have goggles, right? Mm-hmm. And then when we get out, I throw the stuff away and get into the car. We've been really safe. We did run out of toilet paper quite a while ago, and so I ordered some online. And it was, I'm not going to say there's dishonest people in the world, but we got this package of toilet paper. And it's not exactly to scale.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So this is, it's, I don't know. Be careful what you buy. It looks great if I hold it like this, but if I put it next to my head, it's pretty much dollhouse.
Actually, we had Frenchie and the Punk on last week, and
those guys are great.
Oh yeah,
we love them so much.
But I told them, because they have an album called Hooray Beret, that I expect them to write a song because of the toilet paper shortage called Hooray Bidet. Still hasn't happened, but
that's fantastic.
But yeah, it's true for a lot of us, especially that have home studios. We're already kind of used to staying home, and not much has changed in that aspect. But obviously, from the perspective of a musician that performs, a lot has changed. And how has the quarantine and cancellation of shows affected you guys?
We've had shows in Germany and Russia and Texas and California, all over the world. Everybody's canceled. We some of the best shows that we were ever going to do, we were going to do this summer, and they've all canceled. Members of our band who are playing other bands, all of their shows have canceled. I know all of your shows have canceled. anybody who's in a band, everything is canceled.
Yep.
And canceled might be the wrong phrase. The promoters are all saying we're going to do it again next year. But as of right now, we're just trying to get through the summer. So one of the things that we did, and I guess a lot of other people are doing it too now, is we held a actual live concert right here in the studio. We brought the whole band in, which was not quite a breach of quarantine because there's only 5 people in the band, but anyway, everybody was scared and nobody had seen another live soul in months, well, at least weeks. But we put on a live concert, a streaming concert for our fans from our studio, and it was a blast. Super well received. We sold thousands of tickets. We've now had hundreds of people requesting we do another one. So we're going to do another one on May 30th. It's going to be fantastic as well. So it's been a fun sort of workaround, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's awesome. It sounds like a great way to still reach the audience and still perform, obviously, even though we can't come to them. It's kind of like what I've said with this show. It's like, if I can't come to your town, then I'm just going to invade your home.
Exactly.
Very, very cool. So I also heard you have an upcoming album in the works.
We do. So we got a new album. It's a fantastic album, and I'm really excited about it. It's got a very positive vibe, which I think the whole world kind of needs right now. The album's called Esoterica, and it's just lush and beautiful, and it's very interesting because when I wrote it months ago, it was sort of about what was relevant in the world at that time, from a steampunk perspective. And then everything's changed so much that I've really been wondering if some of the songs are still relevant. I might have to revisit what I wrote, but yeah, it's been a very, very interesting thing to see the art that made sense at this point as time went through. Suddenly here, the world changed. And at the very least, the history books are always going to talk about these times.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I might have to revisit some stuff.
Well, I guess before we go, I also want to make sure that along with your upcoming show on May 30th and your upcoming album, is there any way that people can support you, like Patreon or any website you want to point people toward?
Well, buying our music from abneypark.com is always the most direct way to support us. I gotta say, if you buy anything physical right now, the people that do our shipping can't come into work because we're in quarantine. So buying a music download is a great thing. We're about to release a series of audiobooks that you'll be able to buy for download. Great way to pass some time. We've got hours and hours of audiobooks recorded from the Abney Park novel series. So that's going to be a great thing coming up. So yeah, just buying directly from us is great. Seeing this live concert is a fantastic way to support us. So
awesome. Robert, thank you so much for joining me. It's really good to see you again. And hopefully we'll get to see each other in person one of these days at another show down the road. But
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, glad you're doing well. And everybody, check out their show on May 30th. I assume you'll have links on your Facebook page and social media for Abney Park.
It's all coming up. Yep. So, all right. Thank you, John, so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.